Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
We are byproducts of the American war machine. Agents of the color wheel, baptized in bipartisan brainwashing that said our lives had no value until we became slaves. Now, usually when someone attacks your character, you surmount a magnificent defense. But I ask myself, what would Kwame do? What would Gil say? What would Nina sing? I speak for Langston, to usher in this new renaissance for Zora, to write the blues into the grooves of these poems and out of our skies for Emmett, who never had a chance to grow into a man because his future was stolen by pale-faced cowardice. What would Khalid say? What would Frederick think? What would Nesta sing? I speak for Brother Malcolm, to amplify his last message from the Audubon Ballroom in a language you and I can understand. We were never slaves. What would Nat say? How would Gasper feel? What would Miles and Dizzy play? Can you hear Madiba in my throat? The stain of his injustice on my lower register, shaking your gilded cages, or the growl of C.T. Vivian and John Lewis chasing our enslavers back into the crevices of hell from which they came in the very tongue. He never wanted us to learn. Can you hear their freedom in my voice? The thunderous sounds of peaceful protests and all the hopes of Black Wall Street burning in the Oklahoma sky. Can you see the program written by the original architects of anarchy, but despise me for disrupting their matrix and decoding their sentinels of decimation? We Darwinites adapt to violent environments where bloodthirsty tyrants stay sinister. Mutant scientists who violate Zionists for sport and profitability. What would Claudette say? How would Maya feel? What would Marcus write? Can you hear Geronimo in my pain, chanting your demise with the rising tides, rain dancing, days and nights to flush away your filthy remains? Tell me, how many more of our caskets will carry your signature? We are not your fans, nor did we ask for your autograph. Tell me, how many poems must I write to render these unholy scriptures obsolete, to destroy this standard, this symbol, this ideal that we have been something other than royalty since Plymouth Rock landed on us? Let's not forget. We have been miseducated in your uneducated classrooms under your twisted tutelage. We have earned our degrees in the sweltering seasons of your atrocities. This is our pledge of allegiance, to call you every bit of the United Snakes your scales of injustice imply. The revolution will broadcast live on every time zone, every platform to jumpstart this big payback. We have come to collect our hazardous duty pay. Call it retribution for surviving behind these enemy lines on this hostile plantation called America. Your rents due, motherfucker. And I'm the bill collector. Pay up. High altitude, low oxygen, or 7 rules to survival when locked in a nosedive to reality. 1. Turn bottle inside out, count missing drops swallowed by yesterday's day before, when cork morphed back to compass upon failed requests for higher elevation, returned in hollow echoes of what was once a savior. Empty reminder of liquid Loch Ness monster goggles, lost and tossed, more minnow than Gilligan, washed away by serial sequence of sickening sour mash, hanging over quantum leaps to conclusions that ring excuses off another, suffocating episodes of a bar keeps bottomless marathon, different track, same tender or setter of stone tablets too. Warning, suggestion not to sip in least bit of conflict, but who reads labels? Because this is how you double shot, bite back, boiler maker trouble, boiler making trouble, like Project Basement sitting on nuclear consequences to save $1 or make it through the day with fluid attitude adjustments. 3. Say hello to problematic persona turned watering holes, cathedrals of prerogative bathed in pale moonlight, dancing with devils, call it Friday or happy hour or weddings or funerals or christenings or inaugurations or breakups or just breathing. Four, smiles become glassware where icicles click and pass participles, tapping out help me in Morse code that roughly translates to pour me another. So we Lotus linguistics into an Uncle Nearest forest of spirits in bizarro gardens of Eden. Praise Jack Daniels, Pastor McAllen 5. Last time I checked, Melville was safe as Shakespeare eating green eggs and ham, drinking Irish coffee just south of whatever Mark Twain huckleberry bullshit people pass as literature in school these days, while poets are being censored by addicts drunk off power, passing violent legislation with Louis the 13th resting on rancid tongues. 6. Prepare for condemnation of truth champions, toasting in chords and chorus of uproar for omitted stories guaranteed to intoxicate the status palate, head-on collision with America's sense of apex nationalism, leave you manslaughtered. 7. Unfortunately, we get mandated to remain silent. That can only mean one thing. War is on its way to your shores. Make sure you're prepared. How do you break silence when deaf ears are targets of righteous words by fearless few and dialects of original tribes turned outcast, cast out by presidents of presidents who built walls and wars and for discords in place of resources toward upward mobility and deficiencies in education? But what do they care? Perched in lofty towers of social caste systems of illusion, corrupted constitution amended by reconstructed false promises soaked in draconian logic that make no sense. No sense. No sense at all. Heimdall to Skyfall, double O dangerous on both sides of the pond. It's a bond that never dies like tomorrow. Authentically gruesome in every century. Monarchy turned colostomy, make feces of treaties and call it unrest in the law and order of civil disobedience across generations and the role mandatory minimum sentences and sins of invisible men like Ralph Ellison, penmanship with proper etiquette when disrespecting your masters or oppressors, overseeing officer involved, mauling after mauling after mauling with greedy grins on tin badges and uniforms that reek of arrogance mixed with the stench of murderous mishaps written in apex accents, circling chaos theories. No wonder our community can't get no sleep because cold corners don't make money, baby. Gotta keep blocks hot as fish grease on Southern Sunday afternoons just after church, man. All prayed up, all paid up, like dues and ties to soothe the riots of people just trying to survive. Scratching out a living with nickels and dimes, praying for dollars and bridges over troubled waters for hypersexualized daughters and sons whose skin is seen far before content of character can be assessed nowhere. I say nowhere, nowhere is safe for 1619 project rejects when staring down cruel barrels of genocide in spaces of colorblind retrospect that seek to counterfeit your dignity, identity, ability to transform Optimus Prime directive of work, obey, and stay in your lane to something more nourishing for the people. The people, you remember the people actually working, hustling, shuffling bills, robbing Peter to pay Paul and Mary Jane, so I write for it. And I strive for it, like a good revolutionary should. Kimbo Slice on this mic with knockout power in both lungs, speaking in war drum patterns to ensure this thunderous message finds its way home before the lightning strikes your consciousness. This red pill, fire igniter, child of war-torn cipher standing here, right here, because giants paid the ultimate cost for freedom in this place. This place we call home. So I sing these warrior songs of redemption or retribution or revolution, screaming ya basta from every rooftop. You couldn't stop us if you tried, motherfucker, because the devil is a lie. We know the truth. The devil is a lie. We are the proof. Peace.
The thing about being an ex-tweaker, an ex-thief, an ex-lying, manipulative, drain on society and your family, don't take this personally if you use drugs. I'm talking about being an ex-tweaker when you're now a crunchy, organic mom who goes to workshops at the full moon fire ceremony, who chose to have her baby completely drug-free, feeling every second, every contraction, because I didn't want to dull it. Okay, I say crunchy, but I am for modern medicine. Drugs are good sometimes. If I'm hurt, give me the morphine. But I am the sober partier who's also a mom who can sniff out the drug dealer anywhere, warehouse, PTA meeting, church, even here. Every day, I am haunted by the statistic that the meth addicts who quit for good is only 10%. 1 out of 10. I have friends I've told several times about my past who forget every time because I do not act like a tweaker. I do not look like a tweaker. I'm grateful they don't believe I could be a tweaker, but every once in a while I catch myself still thinking like one, obsessing, spiraling, overworking till my brain bleeds, paranoid. Are they ignoring me? Do they even like me? And slamming pots of coffee, kind of like I swapped one habit for another. See, the thing about being an ex-tweaker, you're never an ex-tweaker. You're a tweaker who didn't chase that dragon today, who fought their demons and won today. You're a tweaker who hasn't used for 8,760 days, and I hope tomorrow I'll be the crunchy mom who hasn't used in 8,761 days and not be the one who succumbed today.
And into the masquerade of faces. Nameless or of grotesque figures wandering aimlessly. I'm really hoping no one dressed the same as me. I put a lot of work into my costume over the years to make sure I stand out as well as conform with my peers. I put a different mask on than the one I wear in public in order to amuse this room of masquerading subjects. The peacock, adorned in blue, forges through the crowd, strutting confidently, letting others know she's proud. The lion's main objective is to find some flesh to feast upon. The peacock won't oblige but craves attention, so she leads him on. The butterfly mingles with everyone who's single, sneaking up beside the spider, Spidey senses tingle. He hopes to spin a web to catch her in before she flutters off, but she senses his plan and then begins conversing with a moth. The skunk's already drunk and makes excuses that the punch was spiked. The grizzly bear sees this as his opportunity to strike. He blocks her path to offer her another glass of scotch. The bear is overbearing, and I can't bear to watch. I turn my head to see a worm whose head is buried in a book. He's hoping to attract mate with his sophisticated look, but no one pays him any mind, and so he heads outside to think, while the armadillo curls up in the corner with a drink. While being serenaded by the sweet song of a nightingale, he's falling deeper into a blissful state as she begins to wail. The robin croons a somber tune until along comes the clumsy ox who knocks over a waiter, spilling glasses, and the music stops. And everybody turns to see who caused this insurrection, but the ox refuses to be blamed and points in my direction. But I hide beside a plant and blend in with the shades of green. I'm the chameleon, observing without ever even being seen.
My ABCs, my alphabetically bestowed consciousness. Always assess allegorically adorable anecdotes, articulately addressing any assumingly amended addendums and altered agendas. Anymore, ambivalently attacking with an antiquated arsenal of amplified animosity aptly and ably applied to abjectly ailing allies. Affably, I applaud the admirably aspiring and affectionately alienable actions autonomously apparent anytime anyone astutely attempts to adaptively acclimate to acutely and abusively affected atmospheres, ambiances, auras, and amicability. I am absolutely astounded and amazingly astonished by how aggressively adamant and abhorrently averse to acknowledging actual analytically assessed affirmations as so many avid absolution alienating addicts so absurdly and acrimoniously are. Aimless ambiguity and ardent arbitrariness anonymously assist in adding augmented amounts of agonizingly avowed appropriations to the already arduously arrested and abominably aching aftermath of this entropically aimed artificial attack. Actually, it's abysmally anxietal, also apprehensively and appallingly alarming, because braggingly boastful bureaucratic bastards brashly bargain like bird-brained, blunderingly buffoonic bozos, audaciously bringing big ball-busting bulldozers, blindly bullying, believingly bleeding and burden-bred beasts. But I bravely breathe to briefly benefit from the blankly benign benevolence bequeathed to and bestowed upon us. Before becoming brazenly bitter, become beneficently better. Build a broader base, brightly broadening our beyond bountifully boundless and bloomingly beautiful baby's best. Because I've been backbreakingly busy, broadly breaking bales of bodega bought bread and barrels of richly brewed beer, bourbon, and brandy. Booze. Also, continuously concentrate on continually clandestine congregations centrally centered on corruptly concealed collusions, creatively culminating into criminally cruel and caustically cancerous calamities. Because corrosively capricious communists chronically crave crucially conflicting conditions, crassly creating cosmically chaotic camp, coercively constricting classically classy cowboys, and contemptuously convicting candidly compassionate compadres. So courageously combine the cautiously commingling classes, crudely causing incredibly clear cleansing and conscientious consciousness, consequently catering to a culturally comprehensive culmination commonly classified as a community. So now that y'all know my ABCs, hopefully next time y'all say them with me.
Let's both have a hand at the wheel, navigating the pathways we can take together. I have a lust for life and a passion for passion, and life has a funny old fashion of clashing a couple of souls swimming in the same old fishbowl onto a path that leads to a whimsical, wholesome rabbit hole, falling madly, badly, and gladly, laughing maniacally, basking in the madness of it all, going full Bruce Lee into this like a 1-inch love punch that brings us to our knees to a disposition of intimate spirituality. Let's explore in the style of a completionist gamer playing any RPG, leveling up and discovering new side quests at ease, because we got experience points for weeks. And the idea of venturing onto uncharted territory piques my interest heavily, like a whole new story. The depth I'm willing to open for emotional penetration's infinite. How sturdy is your submarine? How durable is your equipment? How much can you handle? How much can you handle before getting to the bottom of the candle? I hide nothing. So I have, excuse me. Wow, this is my first time reading this. I have nothing. So have at it. This all-you-can-eat buffet eats to your fill and your heart's content every day. My appetite may match yours in ways you didn't expect, so feed me your yin. Let's practice spiritual law and see what happens next. If you can bear me, I can easily bear you any and all vulnerabilities, road mapping traumas, triumphs, and tragedies that turned me into the anomaly that stands before thee. I don't want to make this travel any more difficult than it needs to be. So fellow traveler, make camp here. You're safe with me. Let's both have a hand at the wheel as we get a better feel of this thing we call life together. No sales pitch, just the real deal.
Grim Love for Valentine's Day. She tried to convince me that outlaws die alone. Tried to convince me that cars were better than hotels. Tried to blowjob my trick candle and failed miserably. She felt as if she had a body that angels in heaven would go window shopping for. Felt as if her heart spoke, fuck, why won't you just love me, and why won't you just fuck me way too fluidly? Felt as if Christmas and Easter Sunday church services were just religious porno for frugal people who desperately needed to believe in second shortcomings. She needed a smile that wouldn't crack under pressure. She needed that garter belt she hung her virginity from. She needed to know what I knew she didn't know already. The coffin between her legs was where men would go to die. Her avalanche orgasms left lingerie sweat inside the corners of my mouth for safekeeping. Sensuous liquid sea foam, lather skin slide and leg whisper. Filthy throat swallow her sexy seizure mist and ambrosia hush until her hip bone bumped the halo off my head by accident. Kiss me like a busted condom maze so I won't forget you. Cardiac arrest me so I can stop pressing charges against myself. Tell your heart unsleeve I wear mine under my skirt. Tell I know it hurts that my lonely says fuck yeah it does. Tell it takes time to heal all wounds. To pay me no never mind. Tell pay me no never mind that the love of Jesus already does. As a matter of fact, call God and ask him if he answers voicemails. Ask him if I'm made in his image, then he must be an attention whore. Ask him if he loves me, then why won't he just say it to my face? I don't understand why the only times I feel God is in morning after pills and generic birth control tests that pop negative. I don't understand why the only thing that the book of Revelation proves is that Jesus is a love junkie throwing temper tantrums if you don't love him back. I don't understand why I was body, mind, soul blessed with beautiful, but why men only ask questions when conversing with me. I'm not a blasphemer, Maze. I'm just a rhetorical question in need of actual answers, like, if love dies in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does heartbreak sound like a broken smile? Saying, bartender, bring me another apple martini with a cheap shot of whiskey in it and keep them coming. I may just be a grim love to you, Maze, but I got a body that only one night angels will stand in heaven and whisper hallelujah for. Dim grim love, maybe cars are better than hotels. Maybe outlaws like me were destined to die alone. Maybe if you didn't try to blowjob my trick candle. Maybe if you didn't fail so miserably, your low self-esteem would actually receive a standing ovation from me.
You cannot eat money. Cannot consume the sickness embedded into the fabric of humanity, void of basic decency for humanity before the invention of economy, running rampant through small towns ill-prepared for savage laying, restructuring foundations, partitioning divisions 1/8 of their false origins. You cannot eat money. Oh no, you cannot barter jewelry twice for rations of bread, mustard, and salami sliced thin as paper checks ready to bounce the minute they are signed by families struggling to stretch dimes, remaining from dollars overtaxed by Federal Reserves in full print production. Machinery, circumnavigating checks and balances to stamp e pluribus unum underneath dead figureheads whose principles of ancient logic have long been overruled, overstated, oversaturated with commodity. You cannot eat money. Oh no, you cannot eat collective bargains of collections plastered in slums where holding community becomes a crime of insanity in a world resurging with psychosis of normality. Normalized depravity, figures of speech ruling in favor for white-collar criminals and their charismatic malice. Snake-like tongues that twist phrases into sound bites sliced into B-roll edited with repetitive syllables, slogans handed out like poker chips, with a seasoning of indifference against those who suffer from the diseases afflicted by a system built upon the guarantees of self-criticism. You cannot eat money. Oh no, you cannot feed a community with economy feeding itself with the pitfalls of civility, orchestrating conditional awareness, orchestrating inner modification and self-flagellation for the commonality of suffering as a basis for society. Society thriving on the eradication of the hungry by outlawing visibility of poverty, spending tax incentives on installing park benches with armrests, planting creeping cholla in ditches, arresting vagrants fresh from doing their laundry, withdrawing funding from public services previously awarded for helping to defend the homeless from misuse of justice. You cannot eat money. Oh, no, no. Despite trying, the human body does not run on to-go meals in plastic clamshells filled with empty calories, which are tallied by peer-reviewed studies, by statistical analysis, pinpointing relations between poor nutrition, food access, inequality, and transparent prejudice designed by industries capitalizing on everything in between. Unless you are a cog in the machine, turning in ignorant bliss as goods and services get flipped and packaged in excess of demand, in excess above necessity, in excess of sustainable harvest. You cannot eat money.
The first one is called Torpedo. I thought our hearts had made a deal. We signed it in blood and tears, or at least mine did. We said, you would never again let that treacherous black cat, that intoxicating panther prowl. Fermented torpedo that drenched my mattress the last time you came to stay, but there it is again, unexploded landmine in your luggage. I hate what this craving does to you and what it does to me when I hear myself droning, unheeded, cajoling, as if you were a sapling unsure of the straight path to the light, and the painstaking foundation, ours, built brick by brick, 2 steps forward and 1 step back, returns to silica and skeletons of once life, and bile, and bitter liquid you can't keep down, which is how your body and our love are sure to taste if we keep going this way. Thank you. And the second piece is quite different. I am a romantic, he told me for the first time in the Arctic vortex in which we met, tipping his hand that he speaks fluently the love language native to me. As we closed the blinds and kindled the fire in that season of short days and filtered light, we spent no time unwrapping gifts that delight only merchants and creditors, but lifted our simple pens to our new page in the world we opened with each other. He has warmed every one of my days, minutes, and seconds of the still and always too few weeks, months, and years we spend together, captured in poems that fill our memories with souvenirs of consideration and attention, short-lived tears and garlands of laughter written in a private grammar in which the root of every verb is spoken as kindness.
Hey, baby girl. You so pretty for a big girl. You got more thighs than Popeyes, heavy like a Chevy, thick in the waist, cute in the face. You'd be a catch if you lose a little weight. Daily compliments like daggers dressed up as praise. In truth, you sound like a complete ass, ignorant and careless with words. Please stop talking with a good Lord split you. They're not compliments at all, just a great and backhanded shots of being called a fat bitch. Words that invoke images that I never be, like that thin runway model you see on TV, those plastic video vixens you see on social media. Here's the truth, let it resonate. My worth, your standards cannot dictate. See, I've always been thick from kindergarten to my teens, then slowly became a plus-size queen. Insults like acid eroded my self-esteem, depressing state of mind, questioning my very existence, hating the beauty I could not see. Looking at mirrored reflections thinking I wasn't enough, dying to fit into a world obsessed with a skinny man's dream. But here I stand, refusing to bow down to superficial standards. Nah, see, sweetheart, that just ain't me. People making assumptions, not thinking it's in our genes. We're not cut from the same cloth. We're all not meant to be in the same lane. We're diverse in every way. Comparison got social media divided like the Red Sea, a never-ending fruitful fight pitting skinny against fat, a hollow game we lose ourselves in chasing fame for likes, comments, and follows, killing ourselves to be top shelf just to be his bottom gal, treated like scum on bottom of shoes after he's fucked you, leaving you fucked up after fucking over you. Question, was your pride worth the price? Listen, ladies, they prey on our attention to validate our bodies, not knowing that the fastest way to do so is us hating one another, putting ourselves down. It's a crying shame that we take social media's impossible beauty standards, turn them around, expose ugly truths, feed them into our need to appease others and never ourselves. Entertaining the shame of a pursuit form of an idea that they set for us, but whose idea really is it? Because it damn sure ain't mine. Fellas, words have power. Think before you speak. Take a moment and pause. You're quick to slide in DMs until rejected. Then it's, I never wanted your fat ass anyway. You're a busted can of biscuits, calling us out our names, trying to make us feel shame. Ego softer than Shawman's. Do you speak to your mamas with the same mouths that you used to tear women down? Maybe she didn't teach you any manners, or your daddy wasn't around to teach you to stand up and be a man. Instead, you want to tell us how we're not enough. Hell, let's be honest, neither are some of you. I am enough just as I am, strong and free. Your standards, your judgments won't define me. I'll rise above, embracing myself unapologetically. I won't fight with surface level insults continuously thrown at me, but I will go round and round on how social media is the assemblage of all human depravities. So the next time you want to call us out our name and call us a fat bitch because we don't turn around, do us a freaking favor. Just leave our fat asses alone. And these are the honest thoughts of a fat bitch, serving you a taste of Southern soul.
I saw a volley of words by zombies so absurd, broadcasted live for worlds to collide on this side of absolutely ridiculous. Haven't you heard? We've been given a choice, which is an illusion. Of course, do you want to get screwed or do you want to get fucked? It's just our stinking luck that we get conquest in place of Congress. It's our fault. By inaction and silence, we will allow dumb or damn to lead a country tis of thee into oblivion, throwing dollar signs at problems they call politicians. 21st century rendition of Hail Caesar, full of grace as space becomes latest challenge for the great violence of supremacy. Growling, heavy, deadly as Hemi on patrol reminds survivors who's really in control. To have and to hold from this day forward, we will not remain silent. We not remain silent, remain silent. We will not remain silent. Silent, silence sounds disgusting as national anthem of blushing, Brutus, mutant abusers that like to fancy themselves rulers of worlds. Chaos will be our carpenter. Jesus Christ, holy hammer, driving more folks to insanity than nails fastening contraptions called democracy. Make Nostradamus, Nosferatu, ghastly, bloodthirsty, no great Gatsby, more Dick Dastardly than Muttley cuddling with devil's concubines. In Satan's satin sheets, sown seeds of lust harvest in purple mountain majesties like to hold court in public opinion, lynch mob, turn henchmen, make linchpin of Willie Lynch and Black Wall Street, make families casualties of war-torn streets, call it imperialism, covered in America's white sheets with red stripes and old glory, blue truth, this land is their land. Show every man can be an American if every molecule is willing to stand. American band, or On Business, or Stephen King, or with mankind willing to evolve past Neanderthal brain and refrain from arcane ideas of making a slave's nightmare great again. I'll be cotton picking Mississippi Magus. Goddamn, if I'm gonna let that shit happen. Let's keep it a bean, 100 a stack. Real as revolution was our first language in your utopia. We, the people, will veto your vote for victimizing venom-filled airwaves you call the news. We will use your language to bury you in the blood of truth.
I'm her. The chillest girl in the world, that one who befriends whomever she meets, doesn't watch whatever she eats, holds her own out on the streets, wears business skirts with flip-flops, doesn't shield her hair from drip drops, never stops to check out rich shops, and somehow finds a way to ditch cops. I'm her. She makes and breaks at high pace. To glimpse her, you gotta chase. All the guys hang at her place. She tells you when something's wrong, doesn't want to string you along, makes you feel like you belong. I'm her. About what matters, she's overzealous, won't listen to what governments tell us, replies hell no to what ads sell us. She doesn't act jealous. All in all, she isn't sure she'll find someone who can hang on her turf and is worthy of her. Well, I was her, or thought I was her, but even with my strong self-worth, someone came along to trap me. I was his. My friends wanted to slap me. He put me all off track, confided in me that my hair's stringy, my face is fat, he hates that hat and that tat on my back. He wanted me to be dog loyal, not free-thinking cat. Then one day, he told me that this isn't a lead up to something evil, as he plunged a foot-long needle right in my chest and I turned feeble. Though once my feelings flourished, tainted by him, thoughts and body malnourished. Self-love sucked from Hartwell. I felt envy swell. I was the most naive girl in the world, the silliest, the frilliest, uncomfortably suspicious. I called his female friends bitches, became ultra clingy. I whined, why can't you bring me? And last night, why didn't you ring me? And then one day, a thought made my hair uncurl, made me want to hurl. Holy shit, I'm that girl. My super ego swirled and that ordered world unfurled. Years later, I'm haunted by how low I sank and who I became. I've had to reframe who I aim to be. Not like her. I'm no longer a girl. I have a girl of my own. And I am proud to say I've been single for 1,000 days. And if that does change, great. But for now, I show my daughter how to meet her own needs, clean her own street, set her own worth, demand her place in this world. And it's all been worth it to raise the self-esteem of that girl.
Strolling through the city, I can feel it breathing through me. Alive, and I'm inside it like an actor in a movie. It's hard to tell who's the villain because they come in many forms, but the heroes are the ones who stand to break the social norms. Everybody has opinions and they circulate around it like a cloud that hit the ground. The fog is hard to see around, but as it lifts, I catch a glimpse of what is real and what is true, and I can form my own opinion without it becoming skewed by the new television bias to fit a narrative. We need to recognize oppression, it's imperative. Everywhere I turn, I see it, but can't believe it. Some have money to burn, others with nothing to eat, and the inequality is the product of intersectionality between race, class, gender, and your identity. Instead of considering all of mankind our brothers, we put ourselves into groups and everyone fights with each other. It's like a war zone, and we just want to live in peace, but there's police out here to stalk you like some rabid wildebeest. They're waiting for you to slip, waiting for you to trip. Soon as you do, they use abuse of power to their benefit, and it's sick. I keep my head down and continue to walk, playing hopscotch over outlines and white chalk. Another one of my brothers is gone. I sit and pray and let the energy radiate, creating a wave that flows throughout the city and rings from every mountainside. Where some will flourish, others barely make it out alive. And peace is the answer. Though the process may be slow, it's better than the alternative of altercation. So don't let them control your mind with the way the system was designed. See, everybody's talking, but nobody really hears. Nobody really learns because they won't open their ears. I came here to open the eyes of those blinded, and poetry's my tool to pry open the closed-minded.
My name is Andres Reyes, and I am an addict. I'm addicted to the feeling of pen on paper, juicy words that the page will savor, creating poetry that influences radical behavior. When it's a passion, it's never a labor. So let's take artistic expression straight, no chaser, and scream the eternal cries resting within Mother Nature. May all of our poems be star-destined prayers that become future lifesavers to the ones who may be our future engravers. Yeah, I'm addicted to the community and the feeling of unrivaled unity, achieving spiritual immunity, not feeling like a minority, the wonderful souls and personalities where every day is a ceremony, a celebration of our humanity. I'm addicted to the energy of comfortably showing vulnerability, relaying hurts into healing creatively, and relaying that into frequency from minds to throats to technology to the world around me, with the hope that maybe my words can provide validity in someone's reality. I'm addicted to poetry. Can you feel me? My system refuses to make antibodies for the creative bug that embodies all of me. I'm addicted to poetry and the ability it gives me to be a little wild, a little crazy, testing language, pushing it to its boundaries just to see what it could be for shits and giggles and scientific theory. I'm addicted to a poetry and a spiritual liberty it brings to me. I am a word junkie whose only fix is poetry. Again, my name is Andres Reyes, and I am an addict. There is no high in the world quite like spoken word.
There's a broken key inside the headlocks of my insanity. There's a suicide bomber begging the bourbon beneath the bottom of my breath not to tilt back my halo and blow the John the Baptist out the back of my brain. There's shadow ghost of gorgeous drop-dead hallelujahs hanging chandelier French kisses over my tongue. I stopped being human 2 decades, 2 Marine Corps murder trials, 2 long decades of damn near nightly nightmares ago. There's messy sheets, rough drafting dream edits playing possum with my poetry, replacing putting pussy on a pedestal. I'll probably pass out drunk in this poem. Throw up several 6 stanzas within a room, spinning diction dizzy, vomiting such a velvet neon vernacular that hasn't been completely understood yet. A watercolor construction paper statue I am, waiting for somebody to blow my spine back into place. Waiting on the fear, struggling with my hope to top 2-stepping across the dance floor of my brain, waiting on my goddammit, why won't you love me? Self-esteem to stop walking out of that fucking door. I need Jesus to kiss my glass chamber eyes. I need to stop asking the future to show me what's under her skirt, a skirt away. I need tomorrow's gonna be a better day to stop making promises. It's gonna break. I need her camera lens lips to stop puckering up pictures of me when my dreams are out of focus. I need the mouth of a math major to explain to me why 1 plus you always equal you're gonna leave me too soon. I need Jesus to kiss my glass chamber eyes. Promise the tears I refuse to cry, that it's okay to defy death. I smell like sheet music, feel as if I keep my emotions bottled up long enough. My second guesses, short sights, and second comings will age into a very, very fine wine. Jesus, I need you, Jesus, to kiss my glass chamber eyes. 'Cause Jesus, I feel like sheet music.
I am both knight and damsel in distress. See how I don these chains above my dress. See how my shield fits behind my back while I hike up my stockings to defend a keep nearly sacked. I who keep the tides of war behind my brow, so too shall I drain my own bodice of blood behind the plow. I who am forlorn from battle, breath and breast, so true shall I be forsaken for the tears I now shed. Yet again I struggle against these chains rattling between my collarbone and thighs. Is it madness that I ask for? To feel ready for both blood and simple home? Hath the gods no mercy? To have chained me unknowingly to this array of square bones, I condemn the blind man hanging from the tree. Hath he no tools to give me what I need? Hath he no coffer of creativity left? Give me clay to shape my skin. Give me sharpened scythe to begin again. Give me a blood of a raven's heart. Shape a spell knife for new rune-etched scars. I am both knight and damsel in distress. Mark how my pain is freckled with rage. Mark how my rage is littered with page after page after page of ink-bled thoughts. See how my sword intertwines with time. See how I fill my vase and pour out life. I who keep the mountains at bay, so too shall I climb the heavens to speak my say. I who scour the darkest of seas and the deepest of earthen pits, so too shall I slay my demons and persist. Yet again I struggle to slip my wrists from this dress woven from molten lead. Is it madness that I ask for? To feel comfortable being just? Hath the gods no mercy to have me well equipped and ill-suited all at once? I condemn the sand sifting through broken breaths. Hath time no empathy to give me what I seek? Hath it no chasm in which to draw a drink? Give me a raindrop to quench my thirst. Give me a whip until my veins burst. Give me a shield or silver gown. It's time to weigh me on scales of liberty to heal this bisected crown.
Just this morning, my daughter says, it's time to update my will. Sure, no problem, dead easy, when you're the kind of person with a slim binder for insurance forms and another one for appliance booklets, never consulted but still well filed, and a pair, the 3-inch kind, for all the immigration papers amassed on the endless field trip that has been our life together. Account numbers and passwords and filing places, the simple part. Suddenly, I was facing the end of the document that would mark my final footsteps with my daughter. I had to pause and sit mid-hunt for balances on one of those blue boxes in the pantry that holds baby books and high school trophies, for she has lived in my heart and mind since that long ago day I dreamed of dolphins and knew beyond knowing she was coming. As her poppy promised, she has been the proudest work of my life, and I am so grateful for every single one of the hours we have shared, including those that I fretted at the airport till she got home from Puerto Rico, where she had taken off with a friend in middle school to see the girl's dad, but forgot to mention it. She's my heart and every bit of my life as I imagine a new chapter beyond this plane, where I pray my love for her will illuminate her life the way her Sagittarian topaz has always bedazzled mine. Here in this windowless cupboard, My ears tremble with her sweet soprano, the voice I know one day will ignite the smiles of my grandchildren. And I unhitch my breath, knowing I will meet her tonight and forever under every full moon.
I'm battling for my sanity, wearing mask of indifference, trying to make it through yet another day without going insane. When the darkness falls, I take pen to paper, trying to make the pain go away. The pen is my knife, the paper, my gauze, the instruments used, looking to find an ounce of mercy, so I write. Looking to heal the wounds of my shattered heart. My thoughts and feelings bleed out, causing messes no one wants to clean up. Draining all hope as the devil does happy dances around in my head, penetrating my thoughts while I drink from the devil's punch bowl, listening to excruciating cries, not realizing they are my own voice. I own my scars. They've stayed with me far longer than many people who try to turn their backs on me. I own my nightmares as well, because no matter how dark and demented they are, they're mine. Just like a soldier at war, they have left battle wounds that never fully heal, PTSD in my heart, questioning my very existence. And right now, I don't know if there will be a tomorrow. To be honest, I don't know if I even care. I'm just trying to survive today while ducking and diving and running away from these nightmares that constantly chase me while lurking in shadows, waiting to consume me. Me, left writing words that are my sustenance, drinking wine that is the ink in my pen, hoping to suppress these feelings, not wanting to feel them ever again, because I'm tired. I'm tired of all of it. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of hurting. I'm tired of just being down and out and drowning in the bullshit of my life. I just wish that these voices in my head would stop all the chattering. I wish they would stop trying to tell me what to do. They mean me no good, and I know this. I wish the pain would just cease. I just really want to be through. I'm mentally drained of all emotions, trying to hold on to a fistful of tears that give me no relief and no one gives a damn about. Tears that leave me drowning in cesspools of regret. I pour my soul out, digging graves for unmarked tombs, hoping to bury these feelings so I continue to write this pain out. Wishing that I could finally put it all to rest, wishing I could finally find peace in my dark, troubled mind, wishing I could just ease and erase every memory that I have with a magic wand so that I don't have to write these words out as my final decree. As I go round and round fighting these demons trying to take over me, battling for my sanity, while serving you a piece of my dark side of the Southern soul.
Falling in love while running away is the fastest that you can ever feel of your heartbeat, as both your lover and your own attempt to escape compete to sweep you off your feet. The heart races with the magic of fear, and as you struggle to breathe, love becomes extra oxygen amongst the trees. They fell in love inside the wind that carried them, and were mesmerized by the rise and fall of their own shadows upon the ground. They saw the outlines of each other's faces through their silhouettes against the forest underneath moonlight, but had never had time to stop and feel how much those lines were the maps that led to their freedom. And that the map was not complete with each of their faces on its own, but that if their faces came together and touched, the whole entire geography to the promised land would become crystal clear, a completion of the puzzle. For the longest time, he had also survived his flight from reading in between the shadow of her braids. On some days, he could even see them spell his name. There was something in her hair that said on The day they touched down on promised land, her braids would beg to be freed. They belonged to two plantations that had never met to speak of their pain. But as her zip undid itself from her speed, he could see that the whip lines were all the same. She, on the other hand, read directions from the lines of the muscles in his thighs. Every time they tensed, they became the Underground Railroad. His eyes were like fireflies in the wind, which ignited into bonfires each time he picked up his own speed. So they both picked up pace together. And so did the fire in their hearts, a burning love from one fleeing stranger to another. On days they thought they could hear a pack of dogs behind them, they looked across each other underneath moonlight and made a pledge to become one strong scent to confuse the hounds. And as they filled the forest with the fumes of their love, the sound of their feet became the drum circle of the ancestors, and their fast-beating hearts joined in, as if each song their feet played as they ran them home, where they would arrive and strip each other of the sweat of their long-forgotten bondage, and once and for all become each other's song. Zomkhonto.